Hi there, Brian Lehman, the E-Hermit here, and this is VEDA number 9, and tonight I am going to actually pick a topic off of the calendar, which was, do you believe in astrology? So, the really short answer is yes, it is something that is out there, and it's something that exists. I believe in it. The longer answer is no, not really. Not in the way that most people mean the question. I do believe that astrology does have some basis on things that you observe in the real world. First of all, for example, I think that the time of year that you're born has a large amount of influence on some of your early development. How much you're exposed to the world outside, and whether or not you need to be shoved into a uncomfortable winter garment that covers your face down to next to nothing, so you can just barely peek out. And it's hard to imagine that that sort of thing doesn't influence you. And when you think of your birthday being, whether you think of your birthday being a time when you're out in the park and having picnics, or if you're huddled inside because it's so freezing cold outside. So it's got to have some sort of influence on your personality. So to that degree, yeah, there are probably some commonalities between the personalities of people born at different times of the year. Now, whether or not that can predict how your day goes 22 years later is entirely a different question. And for that sort of thing, I think it's a matter of the psychological effect that reading these horoscopes and that sort of thing the way they actually affect the outcome of your life. I do think that we are very that we respond to the input that we put into our lives. So things from the movies that we watch, the conversations that we're in a daily life, the things that we talk about and expose ourselves to, whether it's on TV or whatever, or actually in our interactions on a day-to-day basis, do have an influence upon our personality. How can they not? And you are made up of whatever part of you is your soul, and the natural inclinations that come from that. You're made up of the genetics that have come before you that affect your proclivity to certain aspects of things, and you're made up of the experiences in your life. And you cannot say that the experiences that you have don't have an influence. And the same thing can be said about extreme movies and extreme video games. If you're playing a video game where you can take on the role of somebody who goes out and beats up people, grandmothers crossing the street, and does carjackings with intense violence, that it's not going to make you somebody who goes out the next day and goes and carjacks a car. No, it's not going to do that. But it is going to change the things that you're going to think about the next day. It's going to change the things that simply occur to you. We are creatures of habit, and we are our personalities are affected and molded by the things that we do and the things that we dwell on. And that can be the same as watching a movie or playing a video game or reading an astrology for astrology prediction. So probably lesser degree the latter, but if you are if that's what you are exposing yourself to all day long, and exposing more and more, spending more of your day dwelling on that, of course it's going to have an effect on you. So in that aspect, yes, I believe astrology can predict some of the ways, some of the things that happen during your day, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because it's in exposing yourself to the ideas, you're allowing that to be an influence on your daily life. Somebody who just grabs an astrology forecast or prediction, a horoscope prediction, and looks at it once a year, is probably not going to think that it's nearly as serious as somebody who invests their lives in figuring these things out and using astrology to guide their daily life. Largely because you're letting yourself open to that influence. So there's the answer. Not a short one, but those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. All right. Brian Lehman, eHermit out.